Hello everyone, welcome to today's fitness class. Today is leg day and we have 3 exercises that we're going to perform. The first one is going to be a Romanian deadlift, then we're going to do a hip thruster, and then we'll move into some calf raises. So these are leg exercises that won't affect the knees so much as doing things like lunges. So these are good if you've got bad knees. Like I do. So we're going to do a warm up first, and then we'll do the exercises, and then we'll do a warm down like we usually do. We're going to do 3 sets, and for each, 3 rounds, and for each of the sets, we're going to do 8 reps per set. So we're going to do 8 Romanian deadlifts, 8 hip thrusters, and 8 calf raises. We've got a 5 kg weight here. We've got 2 of them, so when we can do the calf raises, we can use these to do that, and the other exercises and so on. But if you don't want to use weights, that's perfectly fine. You can do this workout without those. Okay, so let's crack on and get a warm-up sorted. So I'm going to stand nice and tall. We're going to take 1 foot out. We're going to rotate the ankle, and then we're going to change the other way. Ooh, losing balance here. Rotate the knee, change direction, rotate the hip, change direction, and then switch. So rotating the ankle on the other foot, changing direction there, rotating the knee here, changing that direction as well, and then rotating the hip and change that direction. Okay, we're going to stand slightly wider now, and we're going to move our hands all the way to the bottom, see if we can touch the feet. If we can, we're going to crawl forward, crawl to the middle with our fingertips, see if we can go a bit further. And from here, we're going to go all the way back, behind our feet. Then we're going to come back into the middle. We're going to go over to one side, both hands over one side, put both hands in front of the foot like so, and then we're going to bring this hand all the way up, looking at the thumb, and then back down. Walking over to the other side now, we're going to do exactly the same thing. So plant that palm down with the opposite hand, bring that up, staring at the thumb, up into the sky, and back down. Okay, so bring yourself back to the center, stand nice and tall, grab hold of your knees. We're going to push forward and hold, push back and hold, push forward and hold, push back and hold. Then we're going to rotate one side, rotate the other way. Okay, I want to introduce some leg raises. So we're going to get into, try not to kick the window behind, get into a sort of a long forward stance here. We're just going to raise the foot up. We're going to try and aim for about stomach level first for the first 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next 5, we want to try and go as high as we can. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nice. Change feet. Okay, so again, belt level. So I say belt level. That's a false habit of being a karate instructor. So sort of stomach level. Okay, first 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to raise this up, see if we can touch our nose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Awesome work. Okay, So now what we're going to do is slightly shoulder width apart, your feet. We're going to come down on one side, put our hands on the mat, kick that foot out, put the elbow in the crease of this knee, like so. We're going to hold on to the other foot if we can. Whoops, losing balance. Just hold that. Then come up to the center and reverse. There we go. And back up to the center and reverse. Back up to the center and then the other side. Okay. Come back to middle, shake all that off. Right, so that's the warm-up done. We're going to go straight into the RDLs. RDLs are Romanian deadlifts. So the difference between an RDL and a normal deadlift, a Romanian deadlift and non-normal deadlift, is that, well, there's a few. The one in particular, though, is that with Romanian deadlifts, we are going through our hip, hinging at the hips, right? So we want to keep our knees soft, but not bent. Okay, so soft like this. And when we're coming down, we're using our hips, driving our butt backwards, using our hips and coming back up. A normal deadlift, of course, slightly wider, and you are bending your knees and you're driving up like that. So there's a subtle difference, but it makes subtle change, but it makes all the difference. So grab hold of your weights. Okay, so about shoulder width apart, hip width apart, weights out the side like this, and we're going to lower, and as we lower ourselves, we're not going to bend our knees. We're going to keep our knees nice and soft. We're going to bend them to about there and that and no more. It's going to be controlled by the hips. So keep your back nice and straight like this, and we're going for 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, just checking the form on camera, 5, 6, 7, one more, 8. There we go. So you should feel it in your glutes and in your hamstrings. Okay, so have a little breather on that. I'll just set my watch so it is the right thing. That is 5 kg. There we go. Well, that's technically 10 because I've got both of them, but whatever. So have a bit of water, get some hydration on, and then we'll move into hip thrusters. So with a hip thruster, we're only going to use the one dumbbell for this. If you want to, you can just not use a dumbbell. That's perfectly fine. We're going to sit on the mat like so. We're going to have our hands down like this. So palms are on the ground, feet together, knees together. Bring this up. And then 1, bring it down. 2, 3, that kind of motion. If you want to make it deeper, you can lay like this, put your back on the ground. This is probably what I'm going to do actually. Hold the dumbbell like this because it's easier to hold, and then 1, that's it, 2, that kind of thing, that motion. It's doing it that way puts less tension on the arms and the shoulders. So grab your dumbbell, let's get started. So put your head on the mat, and we're going to do 8 of these. So 1, feel the squeeze. 2, squeeze. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nice. Okay, so as you do that, you should feel you should be squeezing your glutes, squeezing your ass essentially, driving everything up, and you should feel that your lower back in your glutes. So that is our 8. We're going to now have a little rest and then move on to. We're going to then move on to calf raises, and then that is the first set complete. I am wishing I never wore this. Getting a bit hot here. So calf raises then. We want both dumbbells. We'll start in just under 10 seconds. So, okay, here we go. So, grab the dumbbells, rise yourself up to the top here, and then these are calf raises, right? So I'll come this side, have your dumbbells pointing the wall like this, and like we did last week where we did calf raises but without dumbbells, we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to go up like this, and we're going to hold for 2, and then come down. So let's do that. 1, hold for 2, 1, 2, and down. Up for 2, hold, down. Up for 3, hold, down. Up for 4, hold, down. Up for 5, hold, down. Up for 6, hold, down. Up for 7, hold, and down. Up for 8, hold, and down. Woo! Okay, let's have a little rest there. That's the first set complete. And these sets of exercises are great because then you can do your progressive overload. So, these are relatively light weights at the minute. So as I progress with this over the weeks, I would be increasing the weight ever so often. And then I would be increasing the number of reps. So at the moment we're on 8 here. I would probably wait until I get to about 12 reps. So maybe increase a rep by 1 next week. Get to about 12, then what I would do is add some more weight, bring the reps back down to 8, and then do that cycle for each time. That is progressive overload. Okay, so we've got about just under 10 seconds left before we start the next set, where we get into our Romanian deadlifts again. So grab your weights. Okay, so I'm going to go this side. So remember, we are hinging from the hips, okay? Hinging from the hips. We're not hinging from the knees. So a nice straight back, going back down here. So this is 1, lowering, and then stop till about there. Driving up. That's 1. Coming down for 2. That's 2. Reposition yourself if you need to. Down for 3. Okay, down for 4. Down for 5. Down for 6. Down for 7. Last one, 8. Lowering it down nice and gently. Last one, 8. There we go. All right. So we're going to then move on to hip thrusters after another minute's wait. So we're just going to get the heart rate down. Whew. That really, you can really feel that in the lower back and then in your glutes and your hamstrings when you do that. It's an underrated exercise, the RDLs. Okay, so we've got about 24 seconds left. So I'm just going to prep myself, get myself in the right position. So again, we're going to sit on the mat, put our feet on the ground there, bring the weight into our hips. We're going to lower all the way back. So we're going to rest our head on the floor. Let's just come in a little bit so you can see. Okay, holding on to the weight like so. Knees together, driving up. So 1, squeeze, back down. 2, squeeze, back down. 3, squeeze, back down. 4, squeeze, back down. 5, squeeze, and back down. 6, squeeze, and back down. 7, squeeze, and back down. Last one, 8, squeeze here, and back down. Notice when I'm doing this, I'm not putting my arse all the way to the ground, my back all the way to the ground, okay? So I am stopping about here and then driving up. So I'm never putting the lower back on the ground. So I'm always there and up and down, up and down. All right, so next we're going to get into the calf raises. So make sure these aren't going to unscrew. Okay, let's get into that position. Okay, so, right. 1, and hold, and down. 2, and hold, and down. 3, and hold, and down. 4, and hold, and down. Reposition if you need to. My feet have been moved. Now, if I was in the dojo, I would say what number I was on, and I would start again from 1. But I'm not feeling mean. So 1, 2, we'll just do 4. 3, 4. I think we were on 3 before, so let's do one more. 4. There we go. Oh. Cool. Right, so my watch doesn't even know how many I've done. So that's the second set complete. We've got one more set to go. Now, at this time, you kind of make a judgment call. Have I used too light weights? You know, maybe I'm doing too much work on one. I can feel it more on one side of the leg, one leg than the other, that kind of thing. So these rest sessions are really good for you to think about where the pain is in certain areas of your body. Maybe you're more stiff on the right side than the left side. Maybe you're noticing that when you're doing your hip thrusters, your hip on the right side is coming up more than the left side. That kind of thing. So when you're resting, it's not a case of just being on your phone and scrolling TikTok. You can just, take some mental notes, get your heart rate down as well, bring on some fluids. So the rest period is actually quite an important time, not only for the rest and recovery, but also for self-reflection of the previous sets that you've just done. And also, if you had what I recommend is like a notebook to actually write the things down that you're thinking of, straight away. You see a lot of people in the gym with pens and paper, right? Okay, and I suppose it's less tempting to do it on your if you do it on the notepad, then it's less tempting to scroll on a social media thing, right? So let's move into the last set of Romanian deadlifts. As you can tell, I was trying to waste a bit of time there because I'm not the biggest fan of these. So, all right, another 8. Okay, soft knees. Hinge on the hips. 1. 2. I can really feel that in this side. Come on. Yeah. 3. 4. Reposition if needed. 5. 6. 2 more. 7. Last one. Make this one count. 8. There we go. Okay. Let's put those torture devices to one side for a minute. Ooh. Okay, so now we go back into the hip thrusters. Let's put that to one side. There we go. Okay, so take on some water if needed. This exercise, yes, this workout isn't the most intense in terms of like the speed of things, but it's certainly getting my heart rate up. So you don't have to do a lot of active. What am I trying to say? You don't have to be running on the spot all the time. You don't have to be doing high intensity training intervals to exercise. So these are great sort of isolation moves. Or at least the hip thrusters. Wow, my back. It's not my back, it's my arse. Right, okay, so stop moaning, Pete. Let's get back onto the mat. Whew. Grab hold of your dumbbell. Nice and flat. Lay on the mat, and we're going to hip thrust. Knees together. 1. Hold down. Don't go all the way onto the mat. Sort of end there. 2. Down. 3. Down. 4. Down. 5. Down. 6. Down. 7. Down. Last one. 8. And down. Wow. Okay. That was tough. That was very tough. All right, so the last exercise that we're going to do is obviously the calf raises, and then that will complete our session. And we'll get onto a warm-up. We'll do some nice stretches of the legs and the hips, and then that will be that. Thankfully, because this is beating me up. So, right, let's crack on. Calf raises. Oh. Probably just haven't had enough caffeine this morning. Right, right. So feet sort of heart hip distance apart. That's it. Okay, right. 1, 2, 3, and hold. I'm going too fast. 4, hold. 5, and hold. 6, and hold. 7, and hold. And the last one, 8, and hold. And down, there we go. Okay, let's put the dumbbells to one side. That is that. We're going to go straight into a warm-up now. So, we're going to get onto the mat on our knees, like so. And we're going to lower ourselves so our bum is on our ankles, like this. And we're going to sit nice and tall, like this. And this will be a nice stretch around the quads and the ankles, like so. Okay, let's bring our hands out to the side, keeping ourselves nice and straight. There we are. Okay, let's bring our hands all the way to the top here. And then put our hands onto our knees and then come into child pose. So pushing back on your heels like this. Standing up now onto your toes, going into downward dog. Bring your hands in if you need to. One foot now is going out into the front. And then we're laying back onto our hip. Okay, back into downward dog now. And then the other side. You want to be looking up when we do this. Okay. Bring that foot back, go back into child pose. Now from here, we're going to go into cobra. So rest your elbows onto the mat, coming up and through. You can either be with your palms on the mat like this, or if you wanted to, you could bring it down so you're on your elbows. I prefer on my palms. Okay, then from here, we're just going to sit on our knees again. We're going to bring our ankles slightly further away. And we're going to lower ourselves as far as we can. Holding onto the ankles. Sinking down as far as we can. holding it there. Coming back up. Whoop. Okay, let's get back into a butterfly. So we've got our elbows into the creases of our knees here, into the joints here. We're able to push down slightly, and we're rocking from side to side. Okay. We're now going to go into a 90-90. So choose whichever foot you want out front first. Go into a 90-90 like this. We're going to turn and twist so we're facing the other side of the room. Turn to face the front foot. Go down as far as we can over that front knee, feeling the stretch in our quads and in our glute. Coming back up now. Change feet. So this time we're going to look the other way, grabbing hold of the ankle and the both feet for support. Turning off to look at the front of the mat, and then we're going to lean over the knee. Again, feeling the stretch, but this time on the other side, on the other leg. Okay, good. All right, so that is the Monday leg day. We've completed the RDLs, which is the Romanian deadlifts. And again, remember that the difference, or one of the main differences between a Romanian deadlift RDL and a normal deadlift is that we are hinging on our hips. The knees are less engaged when we're doing an RDL. So have your knees nice and soft. After that, we then did some hip thrusters. And then after that, we did some calf raises, and we did 3 sets of those. We did 3 rounds of those 3 sets. And I did 8 reps using a 5 kg dumbbell. So I would take this time to write down what you've done, because the next time you can see what you've done and see if you can either increase the reps or change the weight if you do want to progress, or stay as you are. That's perfectly fine. Okay, so thank you ever so much for watching and being part of this.